are live. Welcome to Upper Body Day. We'll get our muscle of the day here in a second. Let a couple people log on here. As they're doing that, I'm going to do a little warm up here. Ow, I'm going to roll out my shoulders a little bit. Just trying to loosen up these muscles, work out any knots that I have. And once I find one, I'm just going to sit on it for a little bit and breathe. So we got some upper body exercises today. I'm going to start with some chest flies once we get going, followed by some bent over rows with dumbbells, and doing some good old triceps with an overhead tricep extension, some bicep curls, hammer curls, which is a type of bicep curl. I'm going to continue with my shoulder exercises that I learned last week, which is the AYA, starting with the A positions, arms down, move to a Y position, back to an A. That was rough. That one was really rough for me last week. And then the Blackburns. So that's where we have an L, a Y, and T positions. We got L with thumbs pointing up. I'll be on, face down, but thumbs pointing up. And then Y and T. And then we'll do the same thing with palms face down. I'm going to try to count this time. So I'm just going to hold each one for a minute. It's going to be real exciting to watch, I'm sure. And then last week I just did reps. But today I'm going to see if I can hold for the full minute for each one of those, simplify it a bit, and then end up with, some plank up down. So really tire out the arms. All right, so I'm kind of getting those muscles going, and the back muscles here, it's gotten significantly better. Hey, we got some viewers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, these back muscles here used to be really, really bad. I've been able to work out a lot of those knots when I first started this corrective exercise stuff. There's still a tight one there. So here we go. I can do YMCA. Let's see, retired, hired? Yes. Yeah, the YMCA. Good, sorry. The comment that you put is really faded on my screen for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, basically it's just the YMCA. I don't know why they haven't really had an exercise like that yet. But yeah, it's like the LYT. I don't know what that would stand for. I guess we can come up with something. Whew, get this other side. Oh, that's too low. So again, I just got this lacrosse ball here. For those that have just joined us, I'm just rolling out these muscles. I did some washing some dishes and some cooking today. So I've already been like kind of that hunched over position right there. And my body does not like that at all, especially since this rib stuff, that's one of the worst positions I can get in. It is for anybody, but that tends to throw out my ribs more than anything else is that. So I'm just really kind of taking my time here. I'm going to get on that roller. I'm going to show you guys that in a moment. That is a lifesaver whenever you're doing anything that's bent over the counter like that, cooking, washing dishes, chopping veggies. I did, all of this today. Yeah, there's a spot on this left side that isn't very happy with me today. But again, I'm just taking my time, breathing through it. So this corrective exercise stuff, we're just doing something called myofascial release. It's kind of like deep tissue massage, but it's great if you don't have a partner to help you out. This little lacrosse ball here is a fantastic tool. Pretty inexpensive, but man, oh man, does it help out a ton, especially if you have shoulder pain, low back pain. I have some clients that like to put it against the wall and their low back, and then they'll just roll out some muscles there. Man, it's a game changer for them. This has been a game changer for me. And then I'm going to flip over here in a second. I'm going to roll the deltoids here on this side. They get a break. I typically do my shoulders on Friday or Saturday. Past 2 Fridays, I haven't been able to work out. Other things just kind of took over, but been able to make that up over the weekend. So Friday's kind of a loose day. It's a catch all my my slack. All the plates that I've been dropping throughout the weekday. So I'm excited to get that back. All right, hello. All right, yeah, no worries, Clemens. Take your time, take your time. That time with the kiddos is important still. I'm gonna take this mic off so that I'm not rattling over it all the time. But I'm gonna hold it. So I'm gonna switch to this softball here, and I'm gonna have the arm up to the side. So I'm rolling out the pec muscle, which is the muscle of the day. And rusted helmet, there you are. I was wondering if you can show up today. Wednesday's your day that you join in. How's it going? I'm doing well. Just, rolling out some muscles before this upper body day starts. So we've got our muscle today, which we're going to talk about the pecs. And there's more than one pec. I don't know if you are familiar with that. Yeah, get ready for work. Awesome. So hopefully it's a good little pump up before you get started with work. Get you a little motivated for something or just entertained. I don't know. Right now I'm just a little bit of pain. Working out these chest muscles. All right, swap sides. So I'm looking away from you guys. Apologize. After I roll these guys out, I will talk about them. Muscle of the day is the pecs. It is what they call a glory muscle. It's the showy muscles. Typically men are all about it. If you guys remember the cartoon Johnny Bravo, he's the one that kind of bounces his pecs all the time. I think The Rock did that too. I'm sure there's a number of people that have bounced the pecs. Us ladies, we don't talk about it as much because, we have some anatomy over on top of that, but it's still very important for us to talk about. It may not be as showy, but it's still very important, especially for shoulder and neck health. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. So the reason why I have the arm up is it helps stretch out that pec muscle a little bit, so it kind of exposes some knots some more, anything that might be there. I like to get underneath the collarbone as well. You'll see why in just a second. You got the sternum, of course. I got some tight spots there. All right. So let's talk about this muscle here. Yeah, Johnny Bravo was hilarious as a kid, but as an adult, have you watched it since you've been an adult, Rusted Helmet? Because I did not realize how many adult themes were in it. When I grew up and understood more things, it's like, holy cow, how did they get away with that? That's still funny, though. All right, so we've got the pec muscles. We've got the ones that, we'll start with the more familiar. Oh, you have it? Yeah. So watch some clips on YouTube. Every now and then I'll go through some old cartoons I used to watch and just watch the highlights and the clips. Watch a couple clips. I'm like, oh no, how did they do that? All right, so we got the first set of pec muscles, the ones that everybody knows and loves. These flashcards divided it into two. But as you can see for this first part, this is the pectoralis major, or pec major for short. They call this the sternal division, reason being that it connects mostly on the sternum here, the breastbone plate, and it's a really wide muscle, and you see how the fibers kind of narrow down to the upper arm here. Note how low it sets on this upper arm. The first time I saw that, I was pretty shocked. You can kind of see the outline of this other part here. So this is the pec major clavicular division. Reason why is that it connects into the clavicle, or that collarbone area, and then again attaches down into the upper arm. So, sorry, it's a little fuzzy there. Yeah, a lot of shows, a lot more adult humor. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? We grow up, we learn things. So you got the pec major. So it connects again there in the sternum, the big bulk of it. You can see how it even connects down here a little bit towards the ends of the ribs, connects into the upper arm, and then from the clavicle into the upper arm here. So you see the clavicle here. There's actually some neck muscles that kind of tie in there, and also in that first rib. So when the clavicle, this collarbone gets pulled down, is too tight by the by the collarbone. It pulls down the collarbone. It can actually cause some tension in the neck as well. So that is pec major. That is what they call superficial. It's closer to the surface of the skin. Next up, we're going to talk about pec minor. This guy causes a lot of issues. So as you can see here, it connects to, it's actually the shoulder blade. Let me zoom in if it stays in focus. So it's connected to a part of the shoulder blade. It doesn't look like it at all, but the shoulder blade is an irregular bone. It kind of has some things kind of jutting out in weird spots, but it connects there. And as you can see, kind of fans out into your 3rd, 4th, and 5th rib. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Yay, my first subscriber. Thank you very much. So you saw that we got that, so it's so exciting. I'll talk about that here in a second. Thank you so much. So it connects into the ribs here. And so this guy has gotten really important for me because this guy has given me a lot of trouble. It was these ribs here, the 3 and 4, especially on my left side now, that have given me some fits. I'm pretty sure it's because this muscle has been really tight. So the pec minor actually sits under the pec major. It doesn't get a lot of attention as far as talking about it, but I'm going to talk about it more just because it really has affected my life quite a bit. So pec major brings the arm in, and of course it can also bring the arm inward but also up, just because the way that those fibers, the directions of the fibers go. Pec minor does that as well to a point. Let me turn this so you get more on the green background here. So pec minor, it takes the shoulder blade and it kind of tilts it over the rib cage. And so that sometimes gets really tight. So anytime that you are in a hunched over position, desk job, a lot of reading, a lot of texting, a lot of sitting, unfortunately a lot of video games, you can get too shortened in that area. A lot of cooking. Cooking is another one. Or if, in my case, what I think where a lot of mine stemmed from is carrying a heavy backpack in college. I was kind of hunched forward. I had a lot of science books, and those things were heavy, so I was really kind of pulling it forward here. So that muscle can get tight. As you can see, it throws off my whole shoulder blade. It stretches out those muscles in the back. They get really tired. That's where some upper back pain can come from. It's not so much your spine, even though eventually that caves in too, but sometimes those muscles just get crazy tired, and they just kind of give out, and that's where the muscles get a lot of pain. So by stretching out the pec minor and the pec major, it helps set those shoulders in the right spot, as well as, I'm going to go to the roller here in a second, as well as working out the thoracic spine too. Make sure you got that mobility back. It will pull the shoulder blades in the right spot, get rid of a lot of shoulder pain and even neck tension. So here we go. So that is your muscle of the day. I'll do a little review at the end. Thank you so much, Clemens, for being my first subscriber. Woohoo! Thank you. So as you can see, we did make the Twitch affiliate. Thank you all so much for that. It is huge. It's a new adventure, a way to help fund this gym. So if you subscribe, even if you're not here, if you subscribe, I want you to get a lot of benefit out of it. Of course, it benefits the gym and everything. But I hope this is something that's educational, that's helpful. I want to talk about the information that maybe you don't get anywhere else on the internet, or at least not easily, and just talk a lot about those things. We'll talk more about, of course, muscles, of course, exercises, of course, nutrition, but also just daily habits, behavior, that kind of thing, how you can make habits easier, behavior modification, or motivational interviewing is another way to approach it. You can even do that for yourself. But anyway, things that will change your life for the better. That's what I want on this channel. So if you're new here, you haven't subscribed, or if you haven't followed yet, give a follow. If you feel like you want to support this mission and you want to get some more stuff out of it, feel free to subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. All the money that I get from the subscriptions is going to fund the gym that we're building here in the area. We live in a very rural town. They haven't had a formal gym before, and we're going to build it. So my husband and I are working on that. Just thank you guys so much, so much. All right, so I'm going to roll out the upper spine here, my thoracic spine. I'm going to cradle my head. I'm going to lift my head up or my hips up, excuse me, and I'm just going to gently roll along the back, mobilizing those muscles. I'm reaching elbows up towards the ceiling so those muscles get stretched out a little bit. Same reason for the lacrosse ball. I want to stretch them out so that way it exposes those knots a little bit better. Not as bad as I thought after doing some cooking, so that's nice. I'm going to switch to a yoga block here too, just to make sure that I got that full extension. It's gotten a lot better over the past couple years, but I just want to make sure I stay on top of it. You can also do the low spine here, might as well since I'm here. I'm going to place it at the very base of the spine. I'm going to put one elbow down. The other arm can just drape across, and I'm just going to roll out the low spine. So I'm just getting the squish next to the spine, not directly on the side of the torso, but just rolling there a little bit, and I'll get the other side. The downside of these massage tools is that they tend to eat your clothes. So they like to bunch up your shirts. If you're wearing a hoodie, those lacrosse balls will eat the hoodie and hair. So just watch out for those. All right, not too bad. That's good. All right, I'm going to set that down to the side over here. And let me show you the yoga block version. So I've got the yoga block here. The foam roller is rounded. You can roll, you can move. The yoga block obviously has corners. And this is definitely more of a deeper mobilization. So I'm placing this corner that's closest to my feet. I'm placing at the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. The idea is that when I lean back, my shoulder blades are supported by the block. Then from there, I've just got my feet however it's most comfortable. I'm going to kind of do a tiny bridge, tuck my hips under, and let my sacrum lay flat as I can there. Got the interlaced fingers on the back of the head, and elbows in tight. And I'm reaching them up actively towards the ceiling. And, ooh, buddy, yeah, this guy's tight. So I'm gently going to lean back with an exhale. So I can stay here for a little bit. Or you can use this as a joint mobility, which I'm going to do today. I'm going to come up with the inhale, exhale, go back down. This is a great thing to do after your workout too, or even after bed. If you're an office worker, you're sitting at your desk most of the time, you know you have kind of that hunched forward position. This thing is a great thing to do before bed. It helps relax the muscles, get better sleep, which means everything in your life will get better. So I'm touching the floor, so I'll show you guys what to do after the workout. I won't do it today, but my head can rest on the floor. If that's the case, you can let it rest. Bring the hands back to the elbows. Again, reaching the arms up to the ceiling, and I'm constantly reaching my arms away as I go overhead, so I'm still tight here. Ideally, these upper arms will be by the ears. I still got a few inches away. And then breathe. So this can help really mobilize a lot of those muscles in the back and the shoulder. I'm still actively reaching. Not totally passive. Gravity's helping me out, but I'm still getting that reach through the arms. Inhales help me put more of where I want to be. Exhales can dip with gravity without losing what the inhale has built. This is something else that can really help out upper back pain, by the way, even some neck pain. One of the biggest factors for shoulder pain, by the way, is the thoracic spine. The thoracic spine is any of the vertebrae that touches a rib, is attached to a rib. There is such thing as overextension of the thoracic spine, although you see mostly what they call kyphosis, or the rounding of the back. That's more common, and that causes a lot of shoulder problems. That's also tight pecs, by the way. When you have that upper back that's rounded, pecs are usually very tight, especially that pec minor, of course the pec major. The rhomboids, the back muscles, will be another muscle of the day one of these days. They tend to be overstretched and tired, so that can cause back pain as well. All right, to come out of this, I'm going to reach the arms forward, keeping my head on the ground. I'm going to support my hands on the floor, elbows first. I'm thinking about that little dip where the collarbones meet. Thinking about that, raising up to the ceiling. Woo, as I slowly come out of that one. That's a deep stretch if you are tight in that area. So really fun to do. But man, oh man, it feels fantastic. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, JP, how's it going? Yay, you're on here too. JP follows me on Instagram, and he's someone I've never met, but has been so supportive, even from afar. Greatly appreciating that too. Thank you for joining me on here. And Rusted Helmet, you're also a fan of the foam rollers. These things are great. Aw, sorry, I'm catching up on the comments here. Thank you, Clemens. I really hope this has been helpful for you. I know you've been working out. We keep each other accountable, which has been great. It's truly, truly helped me as well. It's crazy encouraging. I can't thank you enough. You hopped on here early and helped me out from the start. It's been great. Otherwise, it would have been really lonely and me talking to myself quite a bit, which unfortunately isn't that unusual. Now I just get to talk to myself and other people can listen and respond, which is great. All right, so chest flies is the first thing we're doing today. Yay. And let me show you guys the gym. I've kind of spun you guys around, but just kind of introducing you to the space. This used to be a garage. There's a little sign-in sheet there for my classes and a little board. I got to do some updating. Of course, coat rack, foot stuff, or shoe rack, I should say. This is where they sit whenever they come into class. We got some chairs on standby. There's the hyper extension, the Roman chair. A nice blank wall. A nice blank wall is a great tool, by the way, as well. I was really excited when we can actually clear space for that. And this is my junk corner. Not that it is junk, but it just looks junky. I'm not super happy with it. But we've got the kickboxing stand over there, the bazoo ball, some mitts and everything, stair steps, of course, the ball's over there, yoga. We got free weights, plyo boxes, that lovely, lovely hex bar over there, some barbells, and this squat rack, which has been one of my favorite purchases. It can fold in, so they can actually create more space in the room, especially if we're doing a lot of hopping and jogging and everything. We're gonna do some more of that stuff this week. And of course, these these pegs on the wall that can keep the weights off the wall and save some floor space too. Oh, the lamp. Let's see, anything else in that corner? Oh, here, and then yoga blocks. The lamp, not much of a story. I actually got it from an old client from where I used to work. And she is a very generous person. And let's see, we got married and she's like, hey, I have some furniture I want to get rid of. Do you want some lamps? I'm like, what? But we didn't have any lamps. It was like, yeah, sure. So she gave me 3 of them. And I didn't really have anywhere else to put that one in the house, and it just didn't fit anywhere. And sometimes with whenever we do yoga in here, like the early morning classes, so it's dark in the mornings now at 5:30 in the morning, and I don't want to be just pitch black during Shavasana. I'll turn the lights out so it's a little bit calmer, but I'll turn that lamp on in the corner so it's like I'm not tripping over them on accident when I'm going from place to place. So unfortunately, not that much of a story, but it is kind of odd. I've never really thought about that before, having that lamp in there. Never thought about that. But such a sweet lady and very generous. I miss her. I haven't worked with her in a long time. We're seen her for a few years, so I should probably catch up with her. All right, we've got these chest flies. Whew, I want the shoulder blades pinned against the bench here. I'm gonna have the feet on the floor. Sorry for the squeaky bench. It likes to make noise. We'll get a new one eventually. Whew. So I like to call this one hugging the barrel. I have a slight bend in the arms and or in the elbows. Got the shoulder blades still pinned against the bench. Catching myself there. I'm going to widen them away from one another. So this is stretching out the pec muscle. Again, it attaches to that upper arm there. And then exhale, I'm gonna hug the barrel, squeeze the chest muscles, and slowly come back out.
I'm gonna aim for 12 of these. If it's feeling okay, I'll aim for 15. I'm not quite sure if I could do 20s with this one. Yeah, it's kind of a jump for me, that 5 pounds. Oh, I should have got a 17.5 the other day. That's what I should have done. Would have been a nice intermediate. That's 12. Let's go ahead and do 15. Last one. All right, this is the part where I argue with myself. Because I might try 20s. I might try 1 rep and be like, nope. So I'll go back to 15s if that's the case. But we're gonna try, give it a shot. Yeah, it stands out a little. I've literally never thought about that with the lamp until you said something. Maybe that wasn't normal. But it was a gift, and I didn't have to pay for it, and that's nice. I'm drinking my creatine again. Very tasty. Whew. Getting those boosts. Sleep has been not so great this week, so I'm hoping I'll feel some of those effects I was talking about for brain health, especially with sleep deprivation. I haven't been taking it for that long, so we'll see. Let's see. How would that look? Isometric. Hold for resistance. Yeah, good question. So, I'm not going to demonstrate that with 20s since I'm questioning that. So for an isometric, you could, with the weights here, dumbbells I should say, with resistance bands, that would probably be better for an isometric in this case. You can anchor it onto the floor somehow. So like if you have one of those benches where you can like lay the bench on top of the band and then have the handles and then just hold it there at the top where you have the tension. Let me see if I can demonstrate this. But the hands are coming in, the resistance is trying to pull you back and you're holding that. That would be one idea of an isometric. Here with the dumbbells, it's a little trickier because when you're up here at the top, you know, your arms are kind of doing the work for you as far as the structure goes. You can get a little squeeze there, but you can play around with the lengthened positions. That's actually really nice too. So here, even though the pec is stretched out, it's still stabilizing at that length. And so you can hold it there in that tension. Make sure you have that strong exhale. And of course, you can pull it in whenever you're ready. Another thing you can do for isometrics for pecs is if you have a ball, so we have one of those med balls, it's kind of busted, but that little green med ball underneath the heater there, those are really nice because you can squish the hands in. Let me see, thaw stage in my shoulder. Oh, buddy, you've had frozen shoulder, not soldier, sorry. Yeah, frozen shoulder is rough, is really rough. So I'm glad it's thawing out and it's getting more mobilization. Yeah, isometrics, you can grab a med ball and squeeze it. You could use a pillow, honestly. Just anything that can give you that little substance of a squish. You can just use your hands. It's always nice to have an item though. It's a little something different to think about. But you can squeeze the hands together as hard as you possibly can. And this was, I think, a physical therapy exercise they gave me a while ago, is squish the hands in as much as you can, about chest height, and then you can draw it away from you, still squeezing those hands in as much as you can, and then pull it back in. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but I'm shaking. Like, you don't even need weight for this. If you would like to use weight, you could also use a dumbbell, just squish the ends of a dumbbell, and as hard as you can, lift up and lower down to the chest as well. So you still kind of have that isometric aspect to it. But lower stress, you know, you can just use your hands, literally sitting upright like this. You don't have to be on your back, but moving in and out. And that's an easy one to do if you are out and about, you don't have weights you can play around with or anything. That's a good one. Whew. Man, oh man. Frozen shoulder is not fun. I've never had it before. I've had clients that have had it, and my heart goes out to them because it is not easy to deal with. You don't realize how much mobility that you use in your shoulders every day until they gets locked up. Whew. All right, I'm gonna try these 20s. We'll see how this goes. I may not even be able to do 12, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see how far we can get. All right, here we go. That's 5. Here's 10. I think I'm gonna stop at 12. Yeah. All right, I did it. Honestly, I'm shocked that I got to 12, so that's great. Whew. Shake it out a little bit. All right. Ooh, squeeze the foam block. Yeah, that's great. Russet Helmet, see you later. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. Hope you have a great day at work. Hope it's good. Work calls. YouTuber tired, hired, if you gotta hop off. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for entering the chat more. This is really good to hear from you guys, seriously. It keeps me going. It makes me feel like I'm not just talking to myself. All right, Clemens, are you doing legs today? And Anton, are you on today? Haven't seen you pop in the chat yet. Oh, all right, I got one more set of these chest flies. This seems to be the only thing that agrees with my shoulders here lately, weirdly enough. I am surprised by that. Oh man, JP, you're installing outlets in the basement. Oh buddy, that sounds fun. I have no idea how to do any of that. So huge kudos to you. I'm a little scared to do electrical stuff. That, for some weird reason, that was hard for me in physics. I could do like the basic circuitry kind of thing, but then once it got even just a little bit more complicated, I don't know, my brain just didn't work that way very well for some reason. Whew, it's really nice you know how to do that. Whew. All right, last one. Shooting for 12. We'll see what happens. This is definitely working the muscle of the day, the pecs. Especially the pec major. Whew, that was 8. Ooh, 2 more. Last one. Oh, all right. Cool. Nice to know I can do 20s with those now. Whew. Shake it out. Put these weights to the side. I've got bent over row necks. Last time I did 30s. We'll start there. Still got the bench. I'll turn this to the side a little bit more. Oop, other way. It's a late meeting today, so I did bedtime with the boys. Oh, cool. Oh, you're doing chest and arms too. Cool. Yeah, better late than never, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's good. It's good to have that, that dinner time. Do you guys sit at the table and eat together? A lot of people here in the States, I shouldn't say that, I can only speak for myself. Growing up, it started that way, and then as we got older, it kind of like started to sit in front of the TV and eat that way. Not gonna lie, my husband and I do that now. But just kind of, what is your guys' tradition? Do you sit around the table and eat together? Because I think that's a great thing. Whew. Get a little bit of water this time. There's, let's see, with Ramsey Solutions, Dave Ramsey, the guy that does that talk show about money. I'll flip this up a little bit. Oh, you do? TV during dinner is a no-go. Bad memories watching TV during dinner in my own childhood. Yeah. That's awesome that you guys eat together like that. Better conversations, I'm sure. You get to know each other better, stay connected more. Now that you have one son he's a teenager now, right? So like that's going to be even more important. Again, I don't have kids, but just kind of like talk with other parents that have teenagers and everything. Just that connection is even more important as they get older and get more friends and have different influences in their lives. And that connection is nice. All right, bent over row. Got a wide stance. I'm gonna bow forward here. Got the palms facing towards each other for this version. I'll tilt them in a little bit. So I've got the pinch, pull, squeeze, shoulder blades back, making sure my upper spine is straight. My pec muscles are not helping with the pull back motion of this one. They're actually getting stretched out, but they do help control back to a degree. Here's 12. Sometimes I call the pecs the antagonistic of the rhomboids, which is the muscle I'm working now, those back muscles. They do opposite functions. The chest, the pec muscles bring the arms in, the pec major, I should say, bring the arms in. The antagonistic, the rhomboids, pull the arms back a little bit. Whew. All right, there's one down. Crazy how you get out of breath lifting these weights, especially heavier stuff. Ooh, Clemens, I have a question for you. Let me see your comment here for a second. It's a challenge, though, to keep the boys at the table. Do they just get stir crazy? Like they just want to move around a lot? Whew. My question for you is, I had probably one of the best grocery shopping trips I've had in a long time. I usually go to Walmart. We went to Kroger this time. And they had, which I didn't know they even sold it, they had some lion's mane mushrooms and maitake mushrooms, but two mushrooms I've never seen sold before, but they had it at Kroger. I haven't been there in forever, and they had them on sale, so I nabbed them up. And I don't really know how to cook them. They didn't have a lot of flavor, and so I made kind of like a stir-fry thing, and I chopped them up and put them in very last, so they didn't get a lot of cook time. But I didn't know if you had experience cooking those before. If they're pretty good, makes it a delicious stir fry. All right, so JP, you've cooked with those before too, those mushrooms. Do you guys have favorite recipes? The only time I've had those mushrooms is in supplements, so I was really excited to see a fresh version of them. All right, round two. 2 more. All right. I like using dumbbells versus the bar for this one. One, it gives each arm a chance to do it, pull its own weight, literally. But I feel like the ergonomic part of it is better. Not lion's mane. Ooh, that's cool. Do they grow it themselves or do they forage it? I know nothing. Apparently, the more I talk about it, just now I realize like, ooh, I don't know anything about lion's mane, other than they've been finding some good benefits for us, obviously, of course. But that's cool. You have a friend, grow and forage. Cool. I think it'd be fun to learn how to grow your own mushrooms. I do like mushrooms a lot. My husband will eat them, but he's not a huge fan, so I just don't buy them as often anymore. Okay. Oh, that's true. They could be called different there. Oh, okay. Sweet soy sauce. Ooh. Oh, yeah, the mud water and everyday dose. I haven't tried everyday dose. I did mud water for a little bit. It tasted pretty good. It was pretty tasty. Yeah, the lion's mane is in the mud water, right? And then sweet soy sauce. I don't think I've ever had sweet soy sauce before, unless it's like teriyaki. They have been selling a lot of tamari sauce lately. To be honest, I don't know the difference between any of them. I'd be better about my culinary stuff with that. All right, I got one more set of these rows. I'm gonna do some overhead tricep extensions. I've had a little trouble with my rib this morning, so I'm a little worried about those. But we'll see what happens. All right, here we go. Last one. All right. Whew. Set these to the side. Shake out the grip. Pick up some eights. All right. Adjust the camera. Called Jap Midja, Indonesia. Okay. Can I screenshot while I'm on here? Hopefully that doesn't mess things up. Hey, cool. All right, so I'll look that one up. We are very limited as far as like our international foods here. We have some Japanese, Chinese things, a little bit Korean. We've been getting more Korean stuff lately. But we don't have any like world markets or anything or Asian markets nearby. We're about 2 hours from Nashville, so that's probably our closest one. So trying to, let's turn that angle a little bit. Camera angles. Try that out. And if you, really? Well, that's cool. So you guys have a pretty big presence there with Indonesian food. Come to think of it, I don't think I've had any Indonesian food. What's a common dish for them? Like, what's a really popular dish? Indonesian food dish. We have like Thai food. We have, of course, Japanese. And all these are like in quotes because they've kind of been Americanized, I'm sure. Unfortunately, not a lot of Indian foods near us at all. I love Indian food. Of course, very much Americanized Mexican in our area. You get more authentic stuff in like Texas and out west, but nothing like that out here. Ooh, all right, sleeves are tight. Talking about the pump on Monday, starting to feel that a little bit in the arms. And these sleeves are a little tighter because the women's cut, so cuts a little tight. There we go.
Yeah. So with this one, I want to keep the biceps close to the ears, elbows in tight, so watch they don't flare out to the sides. For example, keeping the abs tight as well. Make sure I don't get too much of a back bow. Extending my arms up. Try to lock them out. Last one. And 12. All right, cool. Whew. Not too shabby. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, so that's good. Jungle Gym. What? What is that? Popular standard fried rice. And saute, is that how you say that? Pinto sauce. Yeah, I don't know what any of that stuff is. Other than, fried rice, we have something similar to that. What is Jungle Gym? Is that like a restaurant chain? All right. Oh, I got to figure out music on this. I forgot about that. I was going to see if we can work on that. All right. So round number 2. Round number 2. On the squeaky bench. Here we go. And JP, have you had any luck in the job search? I meant to message you the other day. I've been praying for you too, for an opportunity to arise. Oh, that's 12. All right. Whew. One more set of those. I don't think I can quite go to 10s yet. My shoulders are definitely the weakest link there. Jungle gyms. From your Ohio period. Okay. No, we don't have that. We used to have a, students love going there. Nothing in your field. Man, okay. Well, I hope something comes up for sure. I'll keep praying. Keep praying. Any luck anywhere else? We don't have a jungle gym. We used to have, or at least in the town that I used to live in, about 45 minutes from here, used to have a world market. That was years ago. And I don't know if the whole chain went down or what, but then it closed. And haven't had anything like that since. So again, the closest place is maybe, there's a town about an hour and a half away, but might as well go to Nashville at that point with other things around. It's about 2 hours away. But yeah, probably an hour and a half away is the closest. Either going south or kind of northwest, there's another town that's bigger, but we just have to go pretty far from here and take the time to do it and see if you can kind of conglomerate all your errands into that one go. Yeah, it's pretty far just for one trip. Former colleague from 2 decades ago is going to put in a word for me. Cool. Online adjunct for geology and or physics. Sweet. Cool. I hope that works out. That would be great, because then you wouldn't have any more moving expenses after you just moved. So, gosh, that just broke my heart when you sent that message. Just, ugh. That's rough. So hopefully that works out for you. I really do. All right. Here we go. Last one of these. And 1, 2. We have hammer curls after this. 3, 4, 5, 6, Here's 12. Can't quite go to 10s yet, unfortunately, I don't think. But we're getting there. We are getting there. All right, so got those to the side. Put these 15s up too early. Use those for hammer curls. We've been doing 12 reps of those. They felt pretty good last week, so I'm going to attempt to go up a little bit more, closer to 15. So we shall see. Get a drink. Man, flying through this faster than I thought. I'm going to adjust the camera. I'm going to do these one-footed again to the side. Whew. Here we go. So what are your guys' favorite foods to eat? So we've got 5 people viewing now. So we've got 2 that have been pretty active on the chat. So Clemens, JP, what's your favorite foods to eat? Your favorite types of food from around the world? And the other 3 of you that are watching, we'd love to hear from you too. What's your favorite stuff to eat? Whew. All right. And do 12 on one foot, 12 on the other foot, the second set, and then split the last one. So I may have to do an extra rep on that last one. Ooh, we got something. I got a notification. Oh, here we go. Hey, thank you, JP, for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. And a gift. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. It means so much. You guys have no idea. This is super cool. Definitely can't do this stuff without you guys. Whew, it's so encouraging. All right, so here we go. If I dwell on it for a long time, by the way, I'm probably going to tear up. Thank you guys so much. It means a whole lot. Here's 12. Last one. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So that's feeling better. Oh, thank you all so much. Ooh. Dal curry from Sri Lanka. I don't think I've ever had that before. One of my best friends went to Sri Lanka for her job. I'll have to ask her if she's tried that. I'm going to talk to her tomorrow, actually. I'm really excited about that. Of the quads. Oh, thank you. You need to clip it. Yes, I did figure out how to section it out, or the highlights. So I clipped that yesterday. No, sorry, I clipped it today from Monday's stream, sorry. So that should be on my page, I think. On the channel, I mean. It's okay, I like emo TV. What's emo TV? And dal curry. Let me see if I can screenshot that. I can ask her about that tomorrow. She got to try that while she was there. We got to go to Australia together. Oh, my tears. Oh, that emo TV. Oh, I'm sure I will cry on here at some point. I've been extra teary here lately. I don't know why. It's like the past month. I'm like, why am I crying? This is dumb. So you just watch a TV show and they have this touching moment, but it's like not to the point where I think I would cry, but apparently I'm crying. So I'm not sobbing, just definitely tearing up. All right, round 2. So I'm sure you guys are gonna see me cry on here at some point.
Here's 10. See if I can get 2 more. Oh boy. All right. It's probably gonna be 12 on the last set. But better, improving from last week, so that's exciting. Thai Vietnamese food. I love they cook it for me. And Italian cuisine too, yum. Yeah, something about Thai food. I haven't had a whole lot of Vietnamese, but yeah, Thai food has like that distinct flavor that I can't quite get either. One of my friends told me about sesame seed oil, and that has helped. It's gotten more of that kind of flavor in there, but it's still not quite there. Yeah, Thai food's really good. Oh, and of course, Italian. You can't go wrong with Italian food. Whew. All right. Got one more set of these hammer curls. Then we got, new stuff. Okay, so new shoulder stuff that I experimented with last week. Sorry, checking the comments. So AYA, gotta get a blanket out. And then the Blackburns, I'm gonna try holding the Blackburns this time. I did reps last time. So we'll count the seconds. I'll probably just have to count out, not out loud, that'll be super annoying for you guys, but I'm just counting in my head, use the breath. All right, I'm gonna do 6 on one foot, 6 on the other. Hopefully that first rep is telling. Last one on this foot. Oh boy, this is gonna be rough. 6 more, if I can do it. Maybe. Right arm is going out. Yeah, all right, I think that's it. I was a little iffy on that last one. Technique was breaking down a little bit. All right, didn't get quite the full 12, but I did increase it by 3 reps the first 2 sets, so that is still progress. I will take it. All right. Got one of my yoga blankets here. I'm gonna set that there to keep my nose from smooshing into the bench so it's a little bit more comfortable. Thai food. Yeah. Oh, lemongrass. I forgot about lemongrass. That's probably why mine doesn't taste that like that. I don't have lemongrass. Ginger, yeah, anything with ginger, huge fan. Like I like to be punched in the face with ginger. Love that stuff. But I did not think about lemongrass. And coriander, yeah, for sure. I want to see if I can find some. Kroger every now and then has lemongrass here, but it's not consistent. I think I can grow it. I think there's one of a garden or a greenhouse nearby. Maybe I can buy it from. I'm not super great at growing things. I've gotten better, but I'm really bad at watering my stuff. So I tend to die. Add ginger to your, ginger to your arm, Arnold Palmer. I've never thought about doing that. That sounds really good. Now I really want to try that. JP, oh man, that might be my new favorite drink. I don't have any lemonade or tea at the house right now, and I really want to try it. Do you use fresh ginger? Is that what you, oh sorry, my thumb was covering. Do you use fresh ginger, JP, for that one? Demand it. Here. It kind of worked last time. All right, AYA. Oh. I'm not looking forward to these, which means I really need to do them. So you got the bench here, you're laying on the bench. the legs are kind of behind you just to help stabilize. I have the forehead on the blanket here to keep my head down. It's not so much a spinal extension exercise, so I'm not trying to do like a Superman or anything, but I want to make sure the head stays down, but the shoulder blades, the muscles around the shoulder blades are working hardcore. So I got the palms face down with this one. I'm going to start with, I'm going to have my head up here as I'm talking. I'm going to have the camera at a different angle. You can notice it's not a very good angle, not like I thought. Let's try that one. Oh no, got caught up in commercials. What? Since you have a subscription, you should not be having commercials. I am sorry about that, JP. I will double check on that. I'm pretty sure I checked that yesterday and clicked specifically that you guys aren't supposed to have commercials if you subscribe. So I'll double check on that. Sorry about that. That should not have happened. All right. In case you missed after your comment, I'm gonna have to try that Arnold Palmer with ginger. And do you use fresh ginger in that, or do you use powder? Because that sounds amazing. All right. Hopefully you could hear me. I realized I was far from the mic. So palms face down, bring it to the Y, and then back to the A. That Y position is hard for me. We'll see what happens. All right. I'm going to shoot for, I think I got 8 reps last time. So we'll start there and see if it feels any better this week. All right, I got 10 that time. Whew. I'll take it. Ginger puree in a tube. Oh, okay. So ginger puree in a tube is what you use in the produce section. I'll have to look for that. That just sounds so good. All right. So, new plan. I wasn't going to go to the grocery store on Thursday, but now I'm going to go to the grocery store on Thursday and make this drink. That sounds amazing. Ugh. And find lemongrass. Find those things. Whew. That was hard, guys. It should not be that hard, but it is for my shoulders. The A part is fine, but taking those arms up in that Y position is just rough. Whew. Anytime that I have clients that have better shoulder mobility than me, I'm really jealous. All right, let's do set number 2. We'll aim for 10 reps again. Here we go. Experiment with the breath too. All right, 10 down. One more round to go for that one. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me. 6 viewers. Woo. Even though we made Twitch affiliate, thank you guys for still hanging out with me. So we needed that average of 3 last time, and now we're over that again today. So super excited about that. Still encouraging. I hope again this is something that helps out. At the end, I'm going to review the Pecs stuff again. If I don't respond to comments in the middle of that, I apologize. I realize I did that in the first pass earlier, because I want to clip that in the highlights so that way that stays up on the channel page. And I also found out that I can download these videos and then upload them to YouTube. So if there are any of these that you want to go back and watch, questions that we talk about or anything like that, that will be on my YouTube channel as well. So if you haven't subscribed to that as well, again, that subscription is free on YouTube, but you will find the streams afterwards on there. So pretty excited to find that out too. There's other options I'm still exploring that are available on Twitch. Oh, thank you. I didn't have the mic. Thank you for that. So saying all that again, yeah, so I'll go over the pec, major and minor again at the very end. I realized I talked through, or I responded to some comments in the middle of that at the beginning. So I'll go through it again at the end, just a quick review for anybody that hopped on later that didn't get to see it. And then I'm going to clip those little sections, and they're called highlights here on Twitch. That should be on my channel page for you guys to go back and reference. And then I'm also going to upload these things, the whole thing, on YouTube as well. Yeah, sweet. Thank you, thank you. Oh no, I lost my magnet. There it is. All right, I think I've stalled enough. One more. This is the hardest thing of the day. I did like the breathing. When I was looking at these on the video, he didn't really cue the breathing when you inhale, when you exhale. So first round, I exhaled into the A. No, sorry. I inhaled into the A, exhaled into the Y. Second round, I exhaled into the A, inhaled into the Y. I think I like that better, a little bit more natural. So I'm going to do that for the last set here. So it's just playing around with different breathing rhythms. The main thing is that you are keeping the breath flowing instead of holding the breath. When you hold the breath, it increases that internal pressure. If you have anything like, let's see, pelvic floor issues, things like glaucoma, where you have like higher pressure in the eyes, breathing becomes really, really important, keeping that breath flowing, not holding the breath. All right, and high blood pressure, because anytime that you increase that internal pressure, that's going to increase your blood pressure as well. You kind of get that naturally, temporarily in exercise anyway, but you want to make sure you're still keeping it as low as possible, even in that. Not saying low blood pressure is like the goal or anything, but just make sure it doesn't get too high so you can still stay focused. That's the main thing. All right, third set, not procrastinating anymore. There we go. Aiming for 10, but we'll see what happens. Last one. All right. Oops, got more reps. Still not as clean as I would like, but improving that a little bit. All right, I'm going to move to the floor. Excuse me, I'm going to set the mic down here for a second. All right. I'm going to lower down the tripod here. Because I didn't go to Walmart yesterday, I didn't get the chance to look at tripods. Sorry about that, guys. You guys are about to go for another ride. Oops, sorry. Okay, here we go. I'm going to adjust the camera. Earthquake. hear me, at least not well. All right, let's try that out. All right, last two exercises are on the floor. This one is a little bit of a marathon one, so I apologize in advance. It's not going to be that flashy. It's not going to be very exciting. It's just one where you're just going to hold, stabilize, stabilize, stabilize. And last time I did reps. I did 30 reps. This time I'm just going to do count to 60 in my head. Not quickly, just 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, all that jazz. So I'm going to have the mic on the blanket again. So this one is what they call Blackburns, I guess. I wasn't familiar with this one until just recently. And so the idea is that you're going to have thumbs pointing up. I'm going to be face down. You got thumbs pointing up to the ceiling, lifting the elbows away from the floor. So you got the L position. So you just have a right angle in the elbow into the torso. And then they go into that lovely Y position, thumbs pointing up. And then finally, T position. The idea is that you're doing a minute of each of these, whether it's reps for time for that minute or holding. I'm going to try the hold this week. And then after you do the thumbs up, you do it again, this time with palms face down. So you'll do the L with palms face down, Y palms face down, T palms face down. So this is not going to be flashy, not exciting. I apologize in advance. So if you guys are doing anything else, this is a good time to go wash dishes, to do a set of your own workouts, or maybe 3 of them, any little things. But you can check in with me every now and then. I'm going to have a little 30-second break in between each letter, just to kind of shake it out a little bit, check in with the body, make any adjustments along that. All right, so another face down one. Still have the blanket so that way my nose isn't smushed in the floor. I'm just going to have it on the forehead. So same thing as the AYA. I'm not looking for a spinal extension with this like a Superman. It stays neutral, but I'm more looking for the shoulder blades activating, the muscles around the shoulder blades, I should say, that are activating. So these help with shoulder stabilization. This is in regards to our muscle of the day. The pecs are going to be stretched out in all of these. So they are pulling away from the midline, and they're holding away from the midline. So they are stabilizing a little bit, but they're going to be more in the stretched out stabilizing versus the contracted stabilizing position. A fully contraction, shortened length position. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with the Y, thumbs up. Place the head down, thumbs to the ceiling. All right, I am going to put the pubic bone into the ground just to help stabilize. That helps engage the abs a little bit more. Here we go, 60 seconds, and go. All right. Whew, so that's about a minute there. That's our first one. Okay. Did I get comments, or am I just seeing things? Nope, just seeing things. All right. Still within a 30-second rest here. The Y's are next. Actually, I'm going to turn this side. That way the blanket's out of the way. Y's. Got those thumbs pointed up. Ooh, distraction. Comments. for that extension. With the L extension, JP, this one that I just did. All right, we do the second set. Whew. This is going to be the rough one, but we'll do our best. Here we go. Oh, gosh. Oh, that's the worst one. All right, 30 seconds. All right, so yes. Let me think about that. So your collarbone pops with that one. All right. Ooh, okay. Ah, yeah, that number one rib. Yes, so that might have a big thing to do with it, because that number one rib is like right there next to the collarbone. The pec major, and this, again, I'll review this, one part of the pec major actually connects to the collarbone a little bit closer to the center and then ties into the upper arm. Is it like closer to the shoulder that it's popping, or is it like closer to more towards the center, or is it in the middle? Let's see if we can figure that out. So it's good that you're doing those exercises while you're doing your desk work for sure too. Oh, rats. Okay, are you back on? Is that commercial done? Or is it still going? Unless it's going, it's like to the side. Man, that's annoying. I should not be doing that. Okay, I'll come back, JP, if you can hear me. I gotta do tees. Figure out this commercial stuff. And my subs, my subscribers should not be getting commercials. It's one of the perks. All right, here we go. Oh gosh, that one was harder than I thought. All right, let's see. All right, JP, are you back? Can you hear me now with these commercials? I'm so sorry about that again. I will double check. I've also, okay, good. All right, so with your collarbone popping, is it like closer to the center or is it closer to the shoulder? Where is that popping occurring? It could be in the middle too. And again, I'm sorry that you should not be getting commercials. So that should be a perk for my subscribers, is that you have no ads. So I'm really sorry about that. I'll double check with that. I have noticed with the Twitch stuff that it takes a couple times for it to finally like take. So even if you click save settings, it still may take me a couple times to do that. Even when I was going to, we got Twitch affiliate, and then when I was doing the things that they said, I had to log in like 3 times just for the one form. So it's a little glitchy, but I will double check on that. Hard to tell. It reverberates, likely closer to the shoulder. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer to the shoulder. Yeah, and there's so much that ties in that area too. Like it's not just the pec. You have some other muscles in there. That's where the bicep tendon kind of ties in too. Of course, you have all these muscles in the side of the neck that kind of tie in that same area. So it's, especially with me not being able to see you, it's hard for me to really pinpoint some of that. But if you do these exercises, especially like, I was thinking about this in the last minute that I was doing, these holding ones, these stabilizing ones and holding for longer periods, that helps the endurance of those muscles. So being able to hold posture for longer periods of time. So holding that L position, if you're able to get it there, as long as you're not in pain, that's a big thing. As long as you're not in pain, you're able to hold that there. That might help over time. Ooh, it was a drop bicep. Yeah. Yeah, I knew a guy that had his, it was his bicep tendon that kept peeling away the tendon of the subscap. And that's one of the rotator cuff muscles, and I'm terrified of that happening on my right shoulder. Yeah, so drop bicep that's scary. Yeah, so probably getting more of the stabilizing, pulling back and holding might help those posterior muscles to help that posture stay that way a little bit better. And then the foam roller, did you catch that at the beginning? Were you here for that part? And then let me get to... So that was the very beginning when I was warming up. I was rolling on that foam roller. I think you actually mentioned that you like foam roller, sorry. But that's a great thing you could do too to help open up all of that. Oh, you have a twin. I didn't know that. She's double jointed there. That's possible too, yeah. Man, okay, do you guys have, I'm gonna butcher this. Is this Ehlers, it's EDS, Ehlers, rats is why I should bring my computer out here. Something with it's like hypermobility, essentially. But it's abbreviated EDS. Syndrome is the S. You like the foam roller? Ooh, a chirp wheel. Yeah, I've got something similar to that in there. But yeah, that can help mobilize. Hypermobility, yes. Okay, so if you have that going on, then yes, stabilizing those muscles around there will definitely help. Things like these things that we're doing, and the isometrics with the pecs that you mentioned earlier, that should help. Anything that'll help stabilize that in the joint. Anything that is the isometrics, but even then, like very slow, meticulous movement, like 4 seconds. Like for example, with the bicep, or sorry, the row. If you're pulling up for 4 seconds, pause the top and control down for 4 seconds. Like really slow the movement down. That'll help those muscles to stabilize as well. And not even going into your full range of motion, because if you're hypermobile, you'll be able to go beyond. And being able to kind of sometimes stretch those tendons and sometimes even the ligaments, but just stopping just short of your typical range of motion and just working on that, and that stabilization can help with that hypermobility. It is tricky to deal with, and if you ever get into jiu-jitsu, you guys are like the hardest people to submit, by the way. I have a friend that has EDS, and I could not get any kind of shoulder lock on her. Like I had to do, or like arm bars. I couldn't do anything to her. She was just so hypermobile, so I had to rely on chokes. That's the only chance that I had with her. But yeah, anything that can help those muscles stabilize around those joints, those super slow motions, isometrics, anything where you're not overextending. So like my elbows tend to hyperextend. So instead of it being like a slight bend in the elbow, I can hyperextend it. That's not always a good thing. So sometimes I'll do a little tiny bend in there. That way those muscles can help support around that elbow joint instead of letting the bones and the ligaments take the weight, if that makes sense. Oh no, I have another 3 sets to go with this one. All right, so L, Y, and T with palms face down is this next one. Okay, here we go. And all right, 1 minute down. We've got Y's to go next. I'm gonna take a tiny break. I might split the Y's into 30-second segments. My technique was breaking down big time on that last one, so I'll split it up a little bit. Wrestlers who stay in a shoulder lift, yeah, without being pinned. Yup. Good abdominal control from quiet. Nice, yeah. Yeah, so you know the frustration you cause people with some grappling. Yeah, that hypermobility is nice in those kind of situations, but unfortunately, in the day-to-day, it starts to wear down on those ligaments. It's a big deal. If you're able to get a physical therapist that has some specialization in EDS, I wish I had my computer out here so that way I could type it out. I can't do it on my phone. Found that out the hard way. It interrupts the stream. But if you can get a physical therapist that is familiar with working with that, it can help a lot. That same friend, she did find one here recently that is very familiar with EDS, and she has helped her out a ton, and I'm really grateful for that because she's struggled with that for so long. And injuries kind of get a little tricky too because you're already hypermobile, and when you get those injuries, it tends to, weirdly enough, tighten up more. You're tight, but you're not tight. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like you feel the joint stiffness, but yet the range of motion is still very much there. It's like that weird, paradoxical world, but stabilizing around the joints with that muscular support really will help out a lot. Vibration therapy. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm not familiar with that. Did that help out? Was that helpful for your physical therapy? All right, I'm gonna do Y's. I'm gonna do 30 seconds, a little pause in the middle, and then another 30 seconds. This is the one that's really tough for me. I really wanna help out my technique. I don't wanna push through terrible technique. All right, and if I can't get that second 30 seconds, I can't do it today, but at least maybe it'll get a little stronger for next time. Palms face down, Y. Here we go. There's the first 30. Second 30.
right, second 30.
There we go. All right, I might hop off here for a second. My dog is barking. Make sure it's not barking at the neighbors. Doesn't seem more effective than the time of day to going and resting, huh? Interesting. Okay. Did they do any kind of stabilization work with you? Like just those isometrics are working with resistance bands or anything? Oh, there we go. Human anatomy. 6-inch ball and hold it on the wall at full extension and draw the alphabet by rolling it. Oh, yeah. Full extension. So full extension of the arm, like on the wall, drawing out the alphabet. I'm going to go check my dog, make sure she's not barking at the neighbors. She tends to do that. And it's rude of her. Oh, no, we're good. She woke me up at 3:30 in the morning last night, barking at something. We do have a bark collar for her that just vibrates a little bit. And I smelled a skunk out there, so I kind of wonder if they found a skunk along the way. All right, full extension at 90 degrees from the torso. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you're like pressing the ball into the wall, drawing the alphabet. Yeah, that's really good stabilization work for sure. Let's see. Yeah, that pushing into the wall, that serratus anterior, there we go. That really helps stabilize the shoulder blade, especially like going overhead movements. That's another one that I'm trying to be better at as well. Oh, that's the other exercise I'm going to do today. I forgot about that. We'll do that instead of plank up downs. But that subscap, I said that again. Serratus anterior helps a lot with that shoulder stabilization. Watch it doesn't collapse backwards, but it stays hugging into the support of the rib cage on the way up. That's really good. Yeah. All right. T is the last one of this one, of these black burns. And I'm glad you said that, JP, because I need to work on that serratus anterior one. Those were really rough last time, too, so I need to work on that. All right. Clemens, you've been quiet. How's your workout going? Last one here. T's. Here we take my arms. There we go. Here we go. Got really shaky towards the end of that one. Okay, set this blanket to the side. Got one more exercise for the day. Instead of plank up downs, we're going to do scap push-ups. My water, my creatine over here a little closer. All right, good deal. I appreciate that. We could share the chat, right? Whew. All righty. Here we go. Actually, JP and Clemens, you guys might have quite a bit in common. So, oh my gosh, yeah, the environmental psychology, is that what you called it, Clemens? JP might be interested in that. So JP, you work with a lot of environmental stuff as well, is that right? working with like ecology and that kind of thing. So you guys actually might have quite a bit in common. All right, oh, I can put my mic back on. Commercial. Commercial, yeah, okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. Here we go. All right. So, subscaps. I keep saying subscaps when I really mean serratus anterior. Apparently I've really got that dug into my brain now. Here we go. So the serratus anterior, it'll be another muscle today one of these days, but it connects from the inner border of the shoulder blade to the rib cage. It helps kind of just stabilize it on there. So I'm pushing away, so it helps out with that motion, and actually works with the pec for a little bit, especially with that forward motion. It helps shorten that a little bit. But then the pec will actually lengthen a tiny bit, or some of the fibers, I should say, will lengthen as the arms get a little bit higher, or the arms get closer towards the ears, but the serratus anterior will still continue to hug that shoulder blade into the ribs. So that's one where on bodybuilders, if you see them kind of on the side, kind of underneath the armpit a little bit, it looks like they have like braided muscles. That's the serratus anterior tying into those ribs. Super pretty muscles. Environmental science, yeah. Interdisciplinary, combining watershed management, citizen science, and microplastics. Oh, wow. Cool, cool, cool. Neat. Oh. That is really cool and much needed because we are not doing a good job for some of these things, I think. Oh, JP, I just had another idea. My dad he retired from West Rock. I think they're West Rock now. I think they're still West Rock. But they are in Covington, Virginia. It's a paper mill. And right before he retired, they started to work on, I think it was like the Clean Act, but they had a lot of regulations they had to get up and running with that. I don't know if they might have an option there, if that's something that you might be interested in. It's beautiful out there if you like mountains. It's pretty cool. Okay, sorry, got a little thing there. All right, so for these scap push-ups, I'm going to be in a plank position. I'm going to do the full plank, but you can do kneeling as well. Make sure the abs are still engaged. I'm pushing the floor away from me, and then I'm going to bring the arms closer to my ears, but I'm still pushing the floor away from me. Still have the abs engaged. I'm going to do this in the full plank here. The contrast to this is pinching the shoulder blades back. We don't want that. I'm going to push as far away as possible. So I'm push, 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 push. And continue to push as those arms go overhead. So I'm almost going into a down dog position. Constantly pushing the floor away from me. I'm spinning my triceps in towards the nose. This is a tricky one for me as well. You might hear some shaky breath. This is 6. I'm going to aim for 8. Oh boy. Last one. Getting that contrast. Might have been a little too much. Ooh, that was a tricky one for me. All right. Yeah. Oh, all right, that's one set down. 2 more of those to go. I'm gonna aim for 8 reps, but I'm not gonna do reps for reps' sake. Still exploring this one. Neat. So what is something that, so talking to both of you since you're both in this field, what is something that you wish people knew more about in this environmental science field? What is something that you think we need to work on as a human species? Or even maybe just your country. Maybe not every country is the same. But what do you think your country needs to work on the most? All right. Oh, buddy. I can feel that one. Apparently I hit it. All right, second round. This is where I wish I could have a mirror to kind of check myself. I'm taking my time with this one. Make sure I'm really feeling the target muscles. Of course, this isn't just the serratus anterior stabilizing. This happened last time. Right shoulder doesn't like something about that movement. Not quite sure what. Do a little reset here. Might just try 2 more. There's something about this my right shoulder isn't very happy with. See if we can figure it out though. Not unusual for my right shoulder. Sometimes it's just a little micro adjustment I need to make. Just need to figure out which one. That's 7. So it's less than last time, but I feel like I'm clarifying that a little bit more. Short term, yeah. Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah, it's hard to think long term when you only have a short term to do things in, for sure. It's kind of the same thing for like health. Of course, those 2 things are very much intertwined, aren't they? Environmental health and our physical health, like our food system here in America. Like it's going to be, I know RFK is working on some of that, but he's probably not going to be able to do that in 4 years. It's a long-term thing. It's going to be decades long process to fix some of this stuff. Same thing for environment as well, yeah. So, yeah, getting that long-term mentality with environmental policies, I think, yeah. Can totally see that. Cool. Yeah. one more set of these. JP, what about you? What's something that you wish people knew more about when it comes to working with the environment? Whew. And I'm very much a newbie in this subject, by the way. It's something I care about, but I need to learn more, admittedly, for sure. Especially these things that are like sustainably sourced. That's really important. Let's not be dumb. I'm going to turn my fingers out a little bit with this last set and see if that helps at all with that right shoulder. All right, final set here. All right. Contrast. This might be my last one. I think I didn't release something in my right shoulder enough at the very beginning. I think that's what my issue is there. All right, it's a perspective park ranger. Ooh. And attach from devices, take in nature. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's nice to have everything at our fingertips for things like that. Those little reference guides are great, but then there's just so many distractions on our phones. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, connecting with nature, I think, can help out a lot. Just being aware of like what is our environment that we're living in, what are the things that are getting impacted the most. Being able to actually interact with those things. We're so disconnected, it's easy to take it for granted. Kind of like if, which is okay though. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, technology is a blessing and a curse sometimes. It's great that we have all this information at our fingertips. You can miss what's normal in nature if you're not looking at it. Yes. Yeah, blessings to Twitch. You guys are great. Yeah. I think about like if you're a meat eater too, and you just go buy it from the store, you're not doing the butchering yourself or anything, like that disconnection from you are taking a life. Like that is legit and that's serious. And we very often take that for granted because we just see the byproduct of it on the shelves, you know, and we just pick it up and move along with our lives. But we don't see all the work and care that goes into that, or the lack thereof, that goes into all of that. And so being able to be connected to those things, I think, is very important for, you know, our own lives. So talking about you know, being a Christian and using the Bible as an example a little bit, like with Genesis, the creation of mankind, you know, he made Adam out of the dust of the earth. And so, and breathed life into him. So just for me, it makes sense that if we are made from the dust of the earth, we should touch it every once in a while, right? That does make sense to me of we very much need to be connected to the thing that we came out of. Yeah, so I think that's really great too, of just the personal experience of being out in nature, being in the midst of the thing we're trying to preserve. That's great, JP. I myself need to go do more of that. Walk barefoot, connect to the earth. Yeah, gather electrons. Yeah. Are there, I need to do my own research on this. I keep saying I'm going to do it and then I don't. Are there like scientific peer-reviewed research on earthing? I think there is. I just don't have any like first-hand examples of like, oh yeah, here's a paper on the benefits of grounding. I've felt the effects myself of like, yeah, it does help reduce anxiety. And for me, like I just felt calmer overall. I did a workout outside, you know, did like Supermans and planks and all sorts of stuff in the grass, and yeah, it was worth a look. Yeah, so I did feel calmer afterwards, even though I did a workout. It was a different kind of calm than like what I just did. It is nice, even if you have bugs crawling on you. It's fine. It's fine. All right, here's my cat. She has the sixth sense and knows when I'm about done. She cracks me up because she comes out and the last 5 minutes of my classes, she likes to go outside, talking about, you know, touching the grass and everything. She likes to eat the grass. But she knows when she will get her chance to go outside. I'm going to do a couple stretches here. Sorry, you guys are going for a ride. And then we'll do the recap for the pec. We're going to do a couple stretches for the pec though. All right, so I have my door frame here. Well, it's really for the squat rack. You can use a squat rack bar. You can use the edge of a door frame. Something that's sturdy, even just the edge of the wall is just fine. It's just something that will help pin your arm back. Excuse me. So I'm going to do 3 different ones because my pecs tend to be pretty tight. And each one hits a different spot and is pretty good. So the first one is the bent arm. We're gonna have the palm, the forearm, and the elbow supported on the edge here. I'm gonna take 1 step forward with, it doesn't matter which foot. There's a physical therapist that I know. She takes the same side foot forward. I kind of like the outside foot forward. That way if I need to turn away, I have the stability in that leg. But, you know, play around with it. See what feels the most effective. But I'm gonna start by pressing the chest forward. The elbow's about shoulder height. You can play around with that as well. So pressing the chest forward until you feel a stretch. Again, it connects into that upper arm and then fans out into the sternum, a little bit into the collarbone as well. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn my chest away from the pole a little bit. Still pressing the chest forward. You can even turn the head away from your stabilizing arm and then tilt the ear up towards the ceiling a little bit. Woo. That gets into some of those muscles that tie into the neck, kind of underneath that collarbone in there. I got about 2 little neck pops there, so that's nice. I've been needing that all day. So just holding this for about 30 seconds. Breathe, relax into the stretch as best as you can. Those inhales can help stretch from the inside. The exhales can help release with the help of gravity, helping you push forward into that stretch a little bit more. All right. I'm going to slowly come out. I'm going to bring the head forward, slowly come out. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I've got that arm pinned there. Step the foot forward, press the chest forward until I feel a little stretch. If you need a little bit more, turn the chest away. And then I'm turning the head away from my anchor arm, tilting that ear up towards the ceiling a little bit. And breathe. Stretching out that whole complex in there. If we're going to get the chest, might as well get some of those neck muscles that tie into all that whole mess as well. Trying to learn more about these neck muscles. And I've realized that the more I release my tight chest muscles, the more it gives the opportunity for my neck muscles to release as well, which helps with my neck pain. And I hope it will help with any of yours as well if you have any neck pain. All right, I'm going to slowly come out. All right, switching to the first side again. Ooh, what do we got? There's a new emoji, that's cool. All right, speaking of the pecs, did you touch on the myth that women might lose their breasts from training the pecs? Yeah, no, I didn't talk about that. I did talk about how
us women don't think about it as much because we do have the breast tissue over it. So it's covered up. We can't do the chest bump like the men can. So like, why bother? But no, I did not talk about that. So ladies, if you're watching, if you're training your chest, and this is in general, it's not just like the breast tissue, but it goes for like triceps, it goes for legs and everything. You can't spot reduce fat. That is genetically determined. It's one of the few things in all of fitness as far as attributes go. You can't spot reduce fat. So for example, if I got like that flab, that's a typical spot for women they want to get rid of. It's not like if I do triceps there, then all the fat in that area will go away. That's not necessarily the case. It'll tone there, it'll strengthen there, the muscle will be showier, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the fat in the area goes away. So the same thing for the breast tissue. If you're working the chest muscles, that will be fine. You know, that there will be no breast reduction there. It'll build the muscle underneath it. If anything, you look better in that sense. So ladies, don't worry about working that area. You still need to. And I'll show you, or I'll tell you reason why, maybe even show you reason why, for the reason why we need to train the pecs. It is a life skill, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But I got this straight arm version for the stretch, so I just have it about shoulder height. Again, you can raise or lower as much as you need, turning the body, the whole body, away from the anchor point. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. And so this stretches down the arm, so this does get some of the bicep, the front of that arm there, as well as the chest. And again, if you want to turn the head away, tilt the ear up, it might hit in a different spot. Again, gentle, gentle, gentle stretch. When it comes to these neck muscles, don't crank anything. That'll just make it worse. Just very, very, very gentle stretch for those neck muscles. That's all it needs. They stabilize the head, which is a big job, by the way. We don't think about how heavy our head is. Our neck muscles do a great job with that, so we don't want to injure them too much from doing a good job. Thank you for bringing that up, Clemens. That is a common myth that if you work the area, and for women, again, like the inner thigh area or just the outer hips too, sometimes people want to slim that down. They do all sorts of these leg exercises to do that. And they get more muscular, they get more toned, they get more definition there. Great thing to do, by the way. But just with the understanding that just because you do exercise in those areas does not mean that fat loses in those areas. All right. Okay, there we go. We're trained female pecs. Yeah. Oh yeah. So you're aware of this one too, JP. This straight arm version. This right side likes this one a lot. Turn the head away and tilt the ear up. Yeah. I'm glad. I haven't heard that myth in a long time or anybody talk about that in a long time, so I guess that's why I didn't mention it, which is good. Because man, oh man, it was really bad on Pinterest. You would see those ads all the time of like, get rid of arm flab and da-da-da-da-da. Granted, it will get rid of it, you know, because the muscle is filling out that area, but it's not necessarily getting the fat out of that area. Let me explain by genetically determined. So we each have our own body shapes. That's just the way that you're made, genetically determined. Nothing wrong with that. There's different strengths to different types of body types. It's good to explore what your strengths are, because those will be the things that you tend to be better at, and that will help you stick with exercise more often if it's difficult for you to stick with working out. This goes for men and women, by the way. So for me, for example, I'm what they call a pear. I have more narrow shoulders and then wider hips, and so I have that pear shape. I tend to lose fat faster on my torso, but then I'll gain weight, you know, and then like the weight on my legs and everything will be the first or the last thing to go, and then flip-flop that. If I'm going to gain any fat, it's going to be around my hips and legs first thing. You know, my chest is the last thing that's going to gain anything. That's just the way that I'm made. Some people are the exact opposite. They lose in their hips first, and then, you know, their chest is the last thing to go. And same thing for men. Same exact thing for men. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just to be aware of it. You know, if you're not getting if you're working your arms like crazy and the fat isn't going away just because that's the way that you're made, don't freak out. Just keep doing the work. Keep working on your nutrition as well.
for tennis a day, starting, woo, 100 reps for tennis, just hitting the ball, that kind of thing. Whew. All right, third pec stretch. Same deal as the last one, except now the arm is low. This one's a fairly new one to me. That same physical therapist friend showed me this one. She shows this one to her clients that it's a safer way to do this one versus the arm a little higher, I guess, and so that's why she gives this one a lot to her clients. But man, oh man, this one is so good. Feels so good on this my left side. For whatever reason, it is like icing on the cake. This has been my favorite pec stretch for my body here lately. I'm showing you all three because you might like the bent arm best. I have clients that like that one the best, and that seems to be the most productive for them. I like to give options in case you have something going on different than I do. All about options and modifications. We'll find the things that work so that way you can keep going. That's the name of the game. How can you still be consistent over time? All right, do one more on the other side. And on my right side, it hits it, but it doesn't hit the same way as my left. Still feels good. Actually, that feels really good today. I take it back. All right. I'm going to grab my flashcards here in a second. We'll go over our pecs. I need to check, too, on the highlights if it has the comments in the side or not, because on my screen I see the comments along with my video, but I need to go back and look to see if the comments are on there as I'm going through that. All right, whew. Just slowly come out. You can also stretch the back muscles by interlacing the fingers, turning the palms forward. If that's too much on the wrist, you can just keep the hands interlocked, but the shoulder blades are gonna pull apart. And then inhale, and then you can even add a side bend to this. That's kind of nice. It gets into the lats a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just kind of touches on it a little bit. I'll do the other side. My back muscles tend to be pretty okay, but just give them a little TLC. Alrighty. Ooh, I'm over 4 o'clock. Whoops. All right. Apparently that workout did take longer than I thought. Got some cushion time though. Yep, butt and belly bulge in the family. Yeah. The belly, by the way, is pretty much the last thing to go, and that's for everybody, just about. I don't know why that is, but belly fat tends to be the last stubborn thing to go, that's where consistency is really important. All right, had to get a sip of water. All right, so we're gonna do a review of our muscle of the day. So if I don't reply to your comment immediately, I apologize, but I will come back to it. That's so I can just clip it. That way it's for reference later. All right, so the muscle of the day is the pecs. We actually have 2 different pec muscles. The one that we think about the most is the pec major, and these flashcards actually split it up into 2 different ones. So the pectoralis major, if you want the technical one. So you have what they call the sternal division here. So it's connecting to the sternum, or that breastbone plate along here, a little bit on the bottom part of the rib cage as well. And it's kind of that fan shape. You can kind of see the direction of the muscle fibers, but they kind of converge into this one point on the upper arm. It's actually pretty low on the upper arm. The first time I saw that, I was pretty surprised. You have an outline of the second one here, the second division, still pec major, and this connects to the collarbone and then cycles down into the upper arm as well. So this is what they call, it's superficial, which means it's closer to the surface of the skin. So that's the big showy muscle that everybody talks about, that everybody wants. The one that's under it
This is the pec minor. And so this is underneath the pec major. It's not as showy. You don't see it. It's even on bodybuilders. It's not something that's going to show up very well. We usually see the pec major. But the pec minor has a pretty pesky muscle. This is one that I've gotten really acquainted with. As you can see, it actually attaches to a part of the shoulder blade here. The shoulder blade is what's called an irregular bone. And so like this little knobby bit part here is actually part of the shoulder blade, and it connects to this other little knobby part here, also part of the shoulder blade. And you can kind of see the broader part of the bone there. But it connects down into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th ribs. And so what this guy does, it helps stabilize the shoulder blade a little bit, but it can also move it up and over the rib cage here, kind of over top. And so if you have any like any of the office work or anything, you know, if you have the rounded shoulders and you can't get out of this position a little bit, it's really hard to get that chest expansion. So a lot of office work, a lot of texting, a lot of reading even, dishes, cooking, something I was doing today, that muscle can get really tight. And because it affects that shoulder blade, there's a lot of other muscles that attach to the shoulder blade that have to do with the shoulder joint itself. So if you're experiencing some shoulder pain, especially sometimes back here, that's the one that I had. It was these rotator cuff muscles that were super tight. If you're having some shoulder pain, that pec minor might be a culprit, especially if you tend to have the rounded back feel. So stretching that muscle out. Let me come back over here to show you how to stretch that actually. This is a good one. So this pec minor, we'll have the arm up here. I'm going to raise the elbow up higher than shoulder height. I'm still pressing the chest forward like the other versions. I'm going to turn my head away and then tilt my chin down. And then, got a couple neck pops there. That's nice, but that'll help. And even, I'm kind of like tilting the torso down a little bit as well, so I can get a big stretch across there. And again, it connects down to the ribs, so if you need to turn the torso out a little bit more for a little bit more stretch, but turn the head away, chin down, can help stretch out that pec minor. And that can help out with a lot of shoulder pain if you tend to have that rounded feel. Why are the pecs important to work? Men, you know, it's a showy muscle, what they call a glory muscle. So there's that, but there's a more functional reason. There's a more functional reason for this, and kind of a life-saving reason. Again, I work with older clients, so especially those in the 80s, this is definitely a concern. If you fall down, especially if you trip, you fall down on your face, being able to push yourself up off the floor so that way you can crawl somewhere else is really important. The pecs help bring the arms in towards one another. The push-up itself, again, that upper arm is pulling in towards the midline. It's going with those muscle fibers pulling in. So being able to push yourself off the ground so you can go get help is a life skill. So it's still important to train these muscles. Of course, you can give great hugs, if you're training good pec muscles too. That big barrel hug, the big bear hug. So it has some functionality to it. It's not just for show. It's helping you to push off the ground. If you're in a fight, pushing someone away to protect yourself. These muscles are still very important to train. So even if you're women. So train your pecs, ladies. All right, so let me go to a comments here. And how can you wink the pecs? I don't know. Jared? Hi. Not much. You wanna wink the pecs for me? I don't know how to do that. Do the little pec dance. You wanna show everybody? I'm still on Twitch. I'm still live. Jared can do it. There you go. So thank you. Pecs is the muscle of the day today. Yeah. So thank you very much for that demonstration. So yeah, I'm almost done. Bro culture, yeah. Help with breathing while running too, yes. So have that stretch, good. Thanks, Jared. Clemens says thank you. He just gave you a thumbs up, guys. Yay, Jared, JP says. All right.
That was the personality, not me.
He said, I don't know if he's caught that on the mic. He said, I'm the personality. That's not true. He's actually the personality. I'm hoping he'll hop on here with me more.
But thank you guys for hanging out with me. JP, really good to see you on here too. It's nice to interact with you off of Instagram as well. Clemens, as always, thank you. Thank you both for subscribing. Really appreciate that. That's very encouraging. Thank you both for encouraging me through the years. JP for the years, Clemens since I started Twitch. It's huge. I can't tell you guys how encouraging that is to me. It helps my heart a lot. And just thank you very much for that. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, rest of your night. And I will see you guys on Monday. But you all have a good one. Bye. See you next week. Yeah. Oh, thank you. You guys have a blessed evening as well. Bye.